And we're live.
All right, here we go.
True form, my cat has just walked in to be like, hey, we're going live with cats.
All right. It'll take a moment and we'll get everybody in and we'll get started in just a minute.
Amazing.
Oh, show us your cat.
Show us the cat.
Wants to see your cat.
There we go. This is Sputnik. He's my mice cat. Welcome. Yes, he loves to be on webinars with me. Every time we start to do a webinar, he's like, "Oh, Dad, I want to be on the webinar," and then he steals the show. So,
yeah,
when we do this regularly, you're going to be requesting the cat, and never mind Google ads. It's all going to be about bring us the cat. Bright white cat too. Yeah, yeah. He's awesome. Yes, he just thinks that life's about having your needs met and being stroked and pretty much being.
New Hampshire's here. Yeah.
Whenever you want.
All right.
Thanks, okay, there we go.
All right. Well,
good.
You good there, John? Should we?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I'm ready.
All right. Well, I'll get us kicked off here. I think we're starting to fill up. And hi, I'm Mike Fisher, Vice President of Client Experience and Sales at Charity Engine. And over the past 15 years, I worked in fundraising as a Chief Development Officer, VP of Fundraising and Development, and in positions like that. And Charity Engine is my favorite CRM. So this last year, I decided to join the team and help other nonprofit executives, professionals, get this experience. And during my travels, I've met many great nonprofit leaders and thought leaders, and just a lot of ideas are out there. And I wanted to start sharing those monthly on the Elevate fundraising series. With that being said, I would like to thank Charity Engine for sponsoring this webinar. And if you're not familiar with Charity Engine, they are experts in nonprofit CRMs and the market leader in monthly giving, featuring Sustainer IQ. Please check out in the chat if you want to learn more about them. Now that I've paid the bills, let's go on to the show. Our guest today is an expert in Google Grants, John Daniels with Connected Impact. Welcome, John.
Amazing, Mike. Thanks for having me, and welcome everyone. And thanks for all the cat love. Yes, I think one of my earliest memories is my mom had this jewelry box of like all these like necklaces and things, and they also get all tangled. And I used to love like untangling them and sitting like and lovingly kind of pulling all the pieces apart. 25 years of digital marketing later, I feel like I'm still doing the same thing, but I have this love for taking complex technology and simplifying it so that it's beneficial to humans. You know, we've got people over here, you've got your business over here, and in the middle, stuff. And we want to help get through the stuff and help make sure that our people see what we have to offer and ultimately get help. So within that, Google Ads is one of my favorite mediums because you can show up for people at the exact time that they're looking for you. You can show up exactly where they're looking for you, and you can connect with them and take them on a journey from where they are to where they want to go. So what I'm going to do in today's session, we're going to do probably 15-20 minutes of content, and then I want to open it up to questions for you guys around Google Ads. I want to share with you some of the basic principles. I want to share with you my enthusiasm and hopefully some useful tools. There'll also be a download at the end for some really good, what I call Google Ads in 30 minutes, just so you can get in, get some good value, and get out. So with that, I'm going to get started. First, I just want to get a sense of the audience. There's a poll up in the chat at the moment. If you guys can see it, please just vote on that. Let me know who of you guys are already using Google Ads. If you can just vote in the poll. If there's any issues with the poll, just give us a yes in the chat. That'll also help. Fantastic. The next question I want to know is, are you guys using Google Analytics? Just yes or no. So like Google Ads, yes. Pop it in the chat or on the poll. Dogs. Amazing. Next thing is Google Analytics. If you guys are using Google Analytics, I'd love to know if you are. And the third one is going to be Google Data Studio or Looker Studio if you guys are doing kind of reports. Just that I know who's in the audience, and I can see kind of where to pitch the content, because as much as I love talking about this, I really want to show up for you guys and be useful in terms of where you're at in terms of a level of confidence. All right. Good stuff. All right. So we've got Q&A. We've got all kinds of stuff happening here. Hey, submitted. Amazing. All right. Good stuff. Okay, so with that, I'll let the polls come in, and I'm just going to crack on with the content, and we can get to the questions as they come through. So firstly, Google Ads, I think, is one of the best kept secrets in terms of advantages and kind of unfair advantages for nonprofits out there. Challenges are, a lot of people just don't know that it's there, I think it's one of the ways that Google just gives back in terms of their big mission. So challenges and why aren't more people using it? Meta ads on IG. Okay, amazing. So I'm just curious, for those of you guys who are not yet using a Google Grant or the Google Ads platform, I've got some suspicion in terms of why that might be. But most of the nonprofits I've spoken to, either they don't know that it exists, they don't know how to get it, and if they do know how to get it, they don't know how to use it. Right, so hopefully I can deal with some of those questions today and make sure that you guys are aware of it and start to take advantage. All right, good stuff. Okay. All right, so the first thing, let's take care of the when right now. Is that if you're not aware of Google Ads or the Google Ad Grant, now Shala says don't know how to use it. When we got it was incredibly confusing. Don't know how to get it. Amazing, fantastic. Accessing how to use it. In the process of applying. Amazing. Great stuff. Okay, well, if you don't know where to get it, consider mystery solved. You go to google.com/grants. There's a button that says get started. And then you just sort of follow your nose in terms of the application process. The main things you've got to do is first prove that you are a nonprofit. So they use a third-party verification service. You upload a bunch of documents, and then you get approved, and you get given this magic Google Ads grant, and then you get to go play. And I want to emphasize the word play because, yes, it can be confusing, but the good news is it's very hard to break it. And I think if you're going to learn digital marketing, this is one of the best things to do, because you get to spend $10,000 a month of free money to learn how to do some pretty important things. And what are the important things in terms of getting success in any kind of digital marketing, I think, but Google Ads specifically? These are what I call like the 3 pillars of success in Google Ads, but also digital marketing generally. And I think the 3 things is, 1, find out what people are searching for. Google is a wonderful place, but people are either searching or they're not searching, right? We cannot. I like to think that marketing is about finding people that already want to do what you want to help them with, rather than convincing people to do anything. But Google Ads specifically, if people are already searching for something, find those people. Secondly, build great stuff for them. Typically, that means web pages, content on your website, and then measure and make it better. Right? We can get to see how people are interacting with your ads, how people are interacting with their landing pages, how people are interacting with the website. Then you get to see, hey, this worked, this didn't work. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things in digital marketing is that you don't have to know anything really, because you can just listen to your customers. Your customers will tell you pretty much everything you want to know. They'll either click on their ads or they won't. They'll land on your page and they'll either click on the buttons or they fill out the forms and they don't. And you can get to see with amazing detail how people are interacting with that, and then be able to improve the process to ultimately deliver to the people that you want to be serving in your nonprofit, so you can achieve your mission, but also you can demonstrate the impact, and you can demonstrate how many people are going to the site and how they're interacting with the site. I'll connect those metrics from digital to real world and really bridge that gap. If there's any questions about this stuff as we go through, just pop it in the chat, and we can answer these in real time. But this is really, in amongst all the complexity of Google Ads, these are the fundamentals. Find out what people are searching for, build great stuff for them, measure and make it better. How that applies when you actually get into the platform, finding out what people are looking for is keyword research. And you do that inside Keyword Planner. And to me, that's where it all starts, is go and find what are people looking for that relate to your nonprofit's mission. Typically, it's either the challenges that they're facing, the services that you're offering, or even things like whether volunteer opportunities, donation opportunities. Find out what people are searching for. Build pages that match those keywords. Use analytics to track to see whether or not people are connecting, whether they're viewing the site, whether they're doing the important things on the web page. And then based on that, go back to the drawing board. You can use that data to inform different changes, and then just keep tweaking the website, the keywords, and the landing pages until you get the results that you're looking for. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can do this all on essentially free tools, which are available to everybody. Okay. Good. So a couple of do's and don'ts here. Don't have a bunch of random keywords. Google Ads interface makes it very easy to just open an ad, open a campaign, say new campaign, add 50 keywords into a big one campaign, have one ad group, and then pointing to the homepage. Very easy to do. That's not all that exciting. I mean, if you think about like when you're going shopping, if you're searching for like black Nike running shoes, you search on an ad for black Nike running shoes, you see an ad that says black Nike running shoes, you go to a landing page, and what you want to see is black Nike running shoes. Amazing. What you don't want to see is pink marshmallows or something completely different. So when you're building your ad campaign, use the same strategy. One keyword, one landing page, one objective. Make your life super, super easy. Wow. Okay. Margaret, I'm very sorry that you got scammed. Right. Secondly, don't have the fear. Don't avoid logging in. Google Ads rewards obsession. Go check in every day. It is a skill. It is something that you learn, but just the more you can get just familiarize yourself, log in, look at some stuff, change some things, see if you can get improvements, because ultimately there's no downside. I will give you guys the link to the 30 minutes a week Google Ads process, which will make it super fun to log in, see what's working, see what's not, make some changes, get out, go do something else. Other thing is, don't try and game the system. Like, as much as there are kind of all sorts of tricks and things like that, to me, the only thing we care about is, are you connecting with the people that are searching for the products or the services or the facilities that you guys are offering, and are they finding what they're looking for? If we're continually looking to optimize for that, then you're going to win. And all the algorithms and all the strategies and things like that are just going to look to see whether or not people are searching for what, are they searching? Are they finding what they're looking for in terms of your ads? And when they land on the page, are they finding what they're looking for in terms of a product or service or job to be done? Okay, so don't try and game the system. Definitely do obsess about your audience. Obsess about the humans that you want to help. Any evidence that you can find of people looking for things. So look at in your, if you've got FAQs, if you've got a form on your website where people are asking questions, if you have a chat functionality on your website and people are asking questions, all of these things are clues for what people are looking for. Use those in your keyword research, and then just show up for people what they're already looking for. Second do is treat keywords as people. Like, keywords are people too. Or should I say, keywords are people first. Every keyword, every search result, every time, those little impressions and those things happening, they are all actual humans that are busy doing stuff and are looking for something. So connect to the human, try and build useful stuff for them. Third thing, optimize the campaigns and website regularly. It's one system. So someone's searching for something, they see your ad, they go to the website, did they find the thing? If we can help them find whatever it is that they're looking for, make it super easy, you're gonna win. And lastly, have fun. It is supposed to be, one of the great things about the Google grant is that you have this essentially free ad budget that you can go and test stuff. It is very hard to break it. Once you have the Google grant, you really have to try very hard for them to mess it up, for them to take it away. So you will not break it with good intentions, right? So have fun, get in there, create some campaigns, get used to the metrics, and use it to just build some skills, get some reps, and get some experience with their digital marketing, and help more people get access to the valuable services that you guys are offering. Okay, cool. So with that, I want to just open up to some Q&A. Those are kind of the high-level principles. If there are any specific questions that you guys have, I'd love to kind of dig in and get into more detail where you guys.
It looked like there was a question from Margaret Heighton. It looked like she tried to get some outside help before, and it didn't work out. And maybe you can give some guidance on if you don't want. I've run Google Grants personally for a nonprofit by myself, but also with an agency. I have to tell you, the agency is easier, but when you're on a budget, you do everything you can. When you work for a nonprofit, you get hired for one job and you do 15. So it's that thing. But she was, I think she was asking for some advice. How would you select a partner? She said she got scammed out of some money, before, and I think just looking for some advice on how to select a partner in the future because $10,000 a month is hard to spend on Google Grants.
Yeah, it is. So weirdly, in the digital space, a large part of the recommendations and things that we get, the trusted people tend to be referral based. But if you are working with a partner that you haven't used yet, definitely ask for some referrals, ask for some testimonials. Also, one of the things that you can ask is who you get to speak to on an ongoing basis. Like, what does the after sale support look like? Because it's easy to get the Google grant, but I find a lot of the value comes in, what is going to be like if something goes wrong, what happens then? And trying to be trying to get those assurances up front.
Okay, good answer. Yeah. Sal wanted to know, can you run YouTube ads using Google Grant credits?
Unfortunately not. There are some restrictions on Google, the Google Grant credits. You can only bid on keywords up to $2 a click, and you can only bid on the search network. So Google Ads is a big space, but you only really can the Google Grant is restricted. Now, there is kind of a bit of gray area where some of the Google have just released a new ad type in Google Grants, which is Performance Max. Right? Traditional Performance Max is multi-channel, right? But this Google Grants Performance Max does kind of border on YouTube in some circumstances, right? So, will you show up on YouTube? Yes or no? Like, maybe, but reality, it could be like 0.001% of the time. Okay, so the official answer, I'm just going to say no, don't expect it. The detailed answer is, it is possible that you could show up on YouTube, but it's definitely not YouTube ads. Like, if you want to advertise on YouTube, that is a whole separate system. You can advertise on YouTube, but that whole thing is not available in the Google Grant.
Okay. Danielle asked, does Google disfavor certain nonprofit missions on ideological grounds?
The answer is I don't know. Yeah. Okay. What I can tell you a little bit about my understanding of quality score. Okay. So quality score, we'll get a little bit technical in here, is that the basic formula of ads is that your ad position, like where you show up on Google, is affected by two things: your click and your quality score. Your quality score is a metric of how they reward good campaign construction and building a good user experience. Mostly it's about click-through rate, right? But there is a sort of shadow effect in terms of certain, shall I say, certain industries are going to be subject to more scrutiny than others. For example, if you're selling anything medical related, you're going to come under a lot more scrutiny. If you're selling anything that is adjacent to tobacco or fireworks or firearms, anything even vaguely in that neighborhood is going to come under a lot more scrutiny. So those are the kind of things that I would look at. And I've seen, honestly, I'd love to tell you everything in Google Ads is cut and dry, but a lot of the time it's you do your best to build something, and sometimes the best well-constructed campaign just doesn't work. and then you have to try something else. So it's not, I've seen things that shouldn't work theoretically do work, and things that do work, that shouldn't work sometimes. The best thing you can do is try it. And if that doesn't work, try again or try something else. So that kind of build, measure, learn feedback loop. I don't, yeah, so that's good. That's been my experience.
Okay. Jeff was asking, and I think I understand this because I've done it myself. He's asking about it looks like paid ads with Google Grant Ads. Can you explain the user experience with and without Google Ads? We use Google Ads, but what would happen if we stopped? So I'm thinking, I used to pair ads that way myself, like to get the more expensive than the $2 clicks. I think that's what he's asking. What would happen if I stopped paying? I'm guessing would my Grant Ads fall?
Again, it's one of those things that I don't think it's one-to-one connected. That however, what you are going to see is, all things being equal, a busier website will have an easier time than a non-busy website. Just because, what Google's trying to see, the more data Google has, the easier it is to feed the algorithm and calculate max cost per click and that sort of thing. So I think from that point of view, if there is an effect, I would say it's something like that. You're not going to see anywhere in the official documentation, right, that Google's going to admit to being like,
biased. Yeah.
Okay.
Stephanie was asking, is it easy to see if your ads are successful?
Wow. Okay. Yes, but so it comes down to a definition of success, and generally, the more difficult it is to measure something, the more worthwhile it is. Okay. So let me get super practical about this. If you define success as people saw my ads, the metric is impressions, super easy to see, like requires no additional configuration, right? It just shows up, very easy. Next one is going to be clicks. Are people clicking on my ad, right? It's slightly more tricky than impressions, but still pretty easy. Like you run the ad, it gets clicked. If someone clicks on your ad, goes to a page, and spends a few minutes on the page, and you decide to find that a success, we now need to have ads and analytics connected to each other in order to get that dwell time metric, a little bit more complex, right? If you want someone to go on the website and then fill in a form, we now need to have analytics and conversion tracking as success. So it becomes a little bit more easy, a little bit more complex. You see how it works. So as you define success, the more complex essentially the further down your user journey the success action is, the harder it is to measure. But conversely, those metrics tend to be more valuable from a did it work point of view.
Okay. Lynn seems to have the most popular question today. Please share best practices for narrowing / targeting geographical prospects within a service area. I don't know if it's exactly a geofence question, but it's kind of that same concept. How do you target within a geo area?
Okay, so we've got a couple of different parameters here. So as a general rule of thumb, Google Ads is an auction. So the less people you are competing against, the better for you, right? So if you literally can only target people in a 10-mile radius of your business, any advertising any further around that is wasteful, because you're incurring additional competition without any benefit to your business, right? So that's kind of the principle. Now, tactically, how do we limit location? How do we limit location targeting? You got inside at the campaign level, you have geographic targeting. Geographic targeting comes in two flavors, and you can mix the flavors, right? So it's like raspberry and lemon raisin. You can have one or the other or both, right? We talk about geographic targeting from a physical location point of view, which is Google trying to figure out where physically are you, using the best resolution is going to be on an Android mobile phone with all the privacy settings turned off. Google can be pretty certain where you are because it can triangulate down to the device level. Also good is IP address, and also it's aware of kind of hotspots and kind of physical locations. So if you use physical targeting, that's the data that it's drawing from. Okay. The second type of targeting is called intent targeting. right? So for example, let's say I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I want to, and I'm selling, I'm just going to use pizza as an example, right? So Phoenix, Arizona, pizza, Phoenix, Arizona. Physical location will be, I have to be in Phoenix. The device needs to be in Phoenix. And then if I search for pizza and my device is in Phoenix, that'll be geographical targeting. The other one is intent-based targeting, which is I can be anywhere in the world and be searching for pizza in Phoenix, Arizona, and it'll show up for there because my intent is Phoenix, Arizona. Now, the default setting in Google Ads is to allow both, which is pretty broad. So your best option to get physical targeting, purely physical targeting, is to go into your campaign settings and set the geographic targeting preference to physical location only.
All right.
That's a long answer. I hope that is that gives you the
all right. So Ron was asking, the ads grant will not allow us to advertise ticket sales. What are the other restrictions of what you can't or limitations for content for grants advertising? So you can't sell anything, is what he's alluding to here, and you know of any other nonprofit limitations?
Yeah, I would actually want to get more detail on the restrictions on ticket sales, because there's nothing really limiting you from selling tickets. For example, I'd like to double click on that because there's nothing in the Google grant that says explicitly you can't sell tickets, right? But what it does say is that if you are a Google grant and you get approved for this business and you try and sell something in a different business, that's where you're going to kind of get into trouble. So, for example, in Edinburgh, I'm in Edinburgh at the moment. There's the Edinburgh Festival, right? So the Edinburgh International Festival is a non-profit, and they have a Google grant, right? And they do very well out of ticket sales. Right? Yeah. We did a couple $100,000 of sales in the Google grant account. Okay, and so there's nothing in the Google grant that says you can't sell tickets. What it does say is that I can't sell tickets for things that are not the Edinburgh International Festival, right? So if I try and sell tickets for the Edinburgh Food Festival or the house party at my neighbor's house, that's when you start to get into challenges. So I think probably like back that up a bit to be like where it might not be they're not saying you can't sell tickets. I think it's something else. We need to kind of double click on that to see what the detail is in there, to see what the mechanism is. Because there's nothing in there that says can't sell tickets. You can't make money. You can make money. You just can't make money. Like people try and abuse the grant by going, "Hey, you're getting $10,000 a month of traffic. Like, can I sell my hiking boots on your website or something?" They're like, "No, we're a mental health charity. You can't be selling your car."
I got one more here. We're running out of time, but Shiloh asked about how can you provide a step-by-step way to launch a successful campaign? I know we can't answer that in 2 minutes. Is there a suggestion? Because a lot of people were kind of liking this question as well. Is there a process or a place they can go to look for this step-by-step process? Any suggestions, John?
Well, in the 1 minute to go answer is I will drop a link in the chat, which is my 30-minute Google Ads in 30 minutes. And if you download that, you'll get an opportunity to spend an hour with me, and then I'll show you. Right? I could do that in 60 minutes. I can't do it in a minute. But I'll tell you, I mean, the 1 minute version, maybe you can record this and watch it back, right? But, very simple is start with keyword research, find one high volume keyword, high relevance keyword, one keyword. Then build a campaign with one ad group and build a landing page that's the best page for that keyword you've ever seen. Set the keyword to exact match and set all the bidding to manual. Right, and that way you'll be able to see whether or not the max cost per click is 0. Create the keyword, the landing page as best you can. Then when you create the ad group, you'll be able to use the AI in the interface to retrospectively create the best possible ad based off the best possible landing page. So that's kind of how I did it. That's the 60-second version.
That was a pretty good 1 minute answer. All right.
Thank you. And then repeat that per keyword, and I think you'll be on a pretty good wicket.
All right. Well, I think that that kind of wraps it up. Sometimes it just doesn't seem like we have enough time to answer all the questions or go in detail, but they have your link now, and they can connect back with you, and we'll keep on doing this. So our next one will be in a month, and we'll go from there. There'll be more about direct mail.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.